Imagine building a company that produces absolutely nothing. No technology, no innovation, no real product, just empty buildings, cheap desks, and free beer. Now imagine convincing the smartest investors in the world that this is worth $47 billion, not millions, billions, 47 billion. This is not a business story. This is a story about delusion, about power, about influence, and a system so broken, it doesn't punish failure, it rewards it. This is the collapse of WeWork. Real estate is simple. You buy buildings, you rent them out, you make money slowly, predictably. There's no hype, no excitement, no fantasy, just numbers, cold, boring numbers. But tech companies, they don't sell reality. They sell the future. They sell possibility. They sell a version of the world that doesn't exist yet. And Wall Street loves that world because you can't measure it. And if you can't measure it, you can believe anything. So one man asked a dangerous question. What if you take a boring business and wrap it in a beautiful lie? His name was Adam Neumann. He wasn't just building a company. He was building a story, a narrative, a belief system. He spoke with confidence, with intensity, with absolute certainty. Not about profits, not about margins, but about changing the world. He didn't say, we rent office space. He said, we are elevating the world's consciousness. And the craziest part, people didn't question it. They repeated it. WeWork wasn't selling desks. It was selling identity, a feeling, a place where people could walk in and pretend they were part of something important. A startup founder, a future billionaire, a disruptor, even if they were just answering emails. The offices were designed perfectly. Glass walls, open spaces, neon slogans, and beer taps. Always beer taps. Because nothing says future of work like free alcohol at 10 a.m. They use words like community, energy, synergy, disruption. Words that sounded powerful but meant absolutely nothing. And somehow that was enough. Because in that moment in time, people didn't want reality. They wanted to believe. But behind the aesthetic, behind the music, behind the hype, the truth was simple, brutally simple. WeWork signed long-term leases, expensive ones, locked in for years, and rented them out. Short-term, flexible, unstable. If everything went perfectly, they survived. If anything went wrong, they were finished. They were losing money, constantly, relentlessly, every hour, every day, every month, burning cash just to stay alive. This wasn't a tech company. This wasn't innovation. This was a gamble, a fragile structure built on confidence and denial. Inside the company, things became even more surreal. This wasn't a workplace. It was a belief system, a culture built around one man, Adam Neumann. Employees worked insane hours, late nights, early mornings, low pay, but they stayed because they believed, or at least they were told to believe. There were massive company events, thousands of employees in open fields, music blasting, alcohol flowing, people cheering like they were part of something historic, not a company, a movement. Meanwhile, Neumann lived in a completely different reality. Private jets, luxury properties, endless travel, funded. by a company losing money every second. At one point, he bought the trademark for the word "we," a simple word, and then he sold it to his own company for millions of dollars. The warning signs were everywhere, obvious, loud, impossible to ignore, but no one stopped him because the money kept coming. Every bubble needs fuel, and this one found something bigger than fuel. It found belief, backed by billions. Enter Masayoshi Son, the man behind SoftBank, one of the most powerful investors in the world. He met Neumann for 12 minutes. 12 minutes. And decided this was the future. He didn't ask hard questions. He didn't demand discipline. He saw ambition and he funded it with billions. That money changed everything. WeWork stopped being a company and became a machine, expanding everywhere. New cities, new buildings, new experiments. They started buying businesses that made no sense. Schools, food brands, random ventures. It didn't matter because in that moment, growth was everything. Profit was irrelevant. They were losing hundreds of thousands of dollars every single hour. Let that sink in. Every hour, money disappearing. And yet, the valuation kept rising. 10 billion, 20 billion, 30 billion, $47 billion, all built on one thing, belief. Then came the moment they couldn't control, the IPO. To go public, they had to reveal everything. No more storytelling, no more hiding, just numbers. For the first time, the world looked inside, and what they saw was chaos, massive losses, conflicts of interest, strange leadership decisions, a structure that made no sense. The illusion didn't fade slowly, it collapsed instantly. $47 billion turned into nothing in weeks. Investors backed away. The IPO was canceled. The money stopped, and suddenly, the company that looked unstoppable couldn't survive. Thousands of employees lost their jobs. People who believed the story, who trusted the mission, who gave their time, their energy, their lives, gone. Investors lost billions, entire fortunes wiped out. Offices sat empty, lights turned off. The illusion was over. But the story doesn't end there, because the most disturbing part comes after the collapse, when everything fell apart, when the company was finished, when the damage was done. Adam Neumann walked away with $1.7 billion, not punished, not destroyed, rewarded. Think about that. A company collapses, billions disappear, thousands suffer, and the person responsible leaves richer than ever. That's not failure, that's the system, working exactly as designed. WeWork eventually filed for bankruptcy. The offices remain empty, silent, like a monument to belief gone wrong. And Neumann, he started again, another company, another vision, another story, and once again, investors gave him money because this wasn't just a collapse, it was a lesson. In modern capitalism, you don't need a real business. You need a story people want to believe, a vision that feels bigger than reality. And if that story is strong enough, the system won't question you. It will fund you. It will amplify you. It will protect you. And even when everything collapses, even when billions disappear, even when people lose everything, you can still walk away winning. Because at the highest level, this was never about buildings or desks or even money. It was about belief. And belief is the most dangerous product ever sold.